Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sharp Way YouTube channel. I am your co-host, Olivia Rondeau, and today I have an interesting video for you guys. So a couple weeks ago, I had the opportunity to attend the second annual Maryland Libertarian Party Mises Caucus Oktoberfest event. And yes, I know that is such a mouthful, but it was actually super fun, and I'm excited to share with you guys what went on there and some more general information about the Mises Caucus. So to get this out of the way, for anyone who does not know, I am not completely unbiased. I am a member of the Mises Caucus, albeit rather recently. I joined in August, and I really have no affiliation with organizing anything or being in charge of anything. I'm just a member. So just to get that out of the way, in case anyone wanted some clarification on that. I think that the Mises Caucus is one of the best parts about the LP. So I was actually invited to this Oktoberfest event, which was at Das Beer Hall in Baltimore, by the Maryland Libertarian Party Mises Caucus organizer, Alexander Schlegel, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He might be mad at me if I don't. So when I joined the Mises Caucus back in August, I was immediately approached by organizers and activists within the caucus to try and come out to some of their events or just to make that connection online. And I really appreciated that because it was so easy to sign up and get involved. I really had to do none of the legwork. And it really just goes to show how passionate they are about bringing people into the party and bringing people into the caucus. And I will add, for those who may not know, I am not a member of the LP. I have never been a registered member of any party. I'm unaffiliated or independent or whatever you want to call it. So the fact that I was able to join a libertarian organization without being a registered member of the national party is a plus for me. Just putting that out there in case anyone wanted to join or is interested about the Mises Caucus but is not necessarily a Libertarian Party member. But anyways, yeah, they reached out to me. Like half of their state affiliate accounts followed me on Twitter. So now I'm following like a million different Mises Caucus accounts on Twitter. And honestly, that's great. They all have something cool to say. They're pretty based and they're doing some great activism. So without further ado, I am going to start incorporating clips that were sent to me by Alex from the Maryland Mises Caucus to try to explain to you guys a little bit more of what the goals are better than I can, because he's actually the one that is in charge of putting together these events.
Hey, what's up, Olivia? Got your homework assignment. Thanks again for coming out to the second annual Maryland Mises Caucus Oktoberfest. It was a really good time, great event. We had about 30-some Maryland Mises Caucus, Maryland Libertarian Party activists, people that are involved. Quite a few county chairs were there. People that are doing this stuff on the ground. Delaware Mises Caucus came down to visit, and appreciate them coming down. It was a good event, good times. Great to be around like-minded people during the COVIDs. Really good to be around like-minded people, especially in these times.
So yeah, Marylanders were not the only people in attendance that night. Besides the Delaware Mises Caucus people, I also spoke to people who were from Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Virginia. So it was kind of a whole mid-Atlantic regional party. What is the goal? What is the goal of the Mises Caucus? What is the point of all this? Well, they get people elected. And so that was another thing that I didn't really know until I went to this Oktoberfest event, but they've gotten people elected in my state, in Maryland.
So as a Maryland Mises Caucus organizer, I feel as though as my role is basically the role of the Mises Caucus at the state level is to funnel people to the Libertarian Party. I feel as though we've grown the Libertarian Party in Maryland, just the Mises Caucus alone. We've backed candidates. We've got candidates elected. We have an individual over on the Eastern Shore who is now sitting on city council in Kent County in Rock Hall, Maryland, sitting on the city council for 4 years. Based on the fact he saw that there was a special election, he got us out there. We knocked on doors. We sent out mailers. We put out yard signs. It was 80%, probably 80% Mises Caucus effort and funded by the grassroots activists here in Maryland. And now he sits on city council for 4 years.
A lot of people forget that the Libertarian Party doesn't just run presidential candidates. You know, we can talk about all day, oh, I would rather vote Republican and register Republican so I can vote for the Republican presidential candidate. You know what? Go ahead. Go ahead. I voted for the Republican last time around. But the Mises Caucus here in Maryland and the Libertarian Party in general has had a lot of success actually electing local candidates. So I live closer to DC than anything, but over on the Eastern Shore, which is kind of far away from me, they do have some elected officials in local office. So good job, Maryland Mises Caucus.
We feel as though that's the role of the Mises Caucus, is to make the Libertarian Party libertarian again, and re-engaging with individuals that reaching out to the wider liberty movement that are looking into the Libertarian Party and being that funnel, bringing them in locally. That's part of the approach.
So Alex has said basically the purpose of the Mises Caucus is to make the Libertarian Party libertarian again. I find it interesting, the stigma that has been put on the Mises Caucus. A lot of people seem to think that they are, too far right, or, not libertarian enough, or they're too Republican or too conservative light. And I have not found that to be the case so far. Maybe that's just because I'm a little bit conservative. But I found that they legitimately uphold their promises. They elect libertarian candidates who are in the Libertarian Party, not Republicans. And that they do what they say they're going to do.
The other part of it is bringing people in, getting involved with the Libertarian Party, encouraging them to be delegates, to go to the national convention and actually support national candidates that are going to sit on the LNC, sit on the board, actually back the presidential and vice presidential candidates that are actually going to be principled libertarians, actually be libertarian. That's part of it. So it's basically finding delegates that want to go to Reno in 2024, that want to back Angela McCarter, back Joshua Smith, back based, unapologetic libertarians.
One thing that I learned was so important attending this event that I really hadn't thought of before was the delegates. So the delegates basically have to go to Reno to the Libertarian Party National Convention and make their voices heard and represent their state and represent their local parties and stuff. And I had really never thought about that before. The duopoly got me going crazy because, growing up when there was Democrat or Republican, you never thought about going to the national convention and really making a change in your party. You just kind of vote for whoever they put up. But the LP is a little bit different. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit different structures. So they seem to value people's input a lot more, and people's input is actually way more necessary in the LP as opposed to any of the other two major parties. So that was something that was really drilled into my head and really got me thinking, okay, maybe I should register as a member of the party so I could at least go to Reno or at least have some type of input, because the amount of delegates that they send to the national convention is based on how many people are in your state party. So I don't want to be the person that prevents another delegate from going to Reno if I'm just like, hey, I might not become an LP member, but I support you guys. They're really getting me to come around to possibly switching my party affiliation to Libertarian, but I'm not there yet.
The other role of the Mises Caucus is to run at local levels where we can actually achieve victory, gain influence, and try to spread the liberty message at the most local winnable races. Just like I stated before, we have James Cook, who's sitting on the board or sitting on the city council over in the Eastern Shore of Maryland, in Kent County, Rock Hall, Maryland, for 4 years. That's the type of goal, that's the type of things we can achieve when we take human action at the local level. So that's the role of the Mises Caucus. As far as the wider liberty movement, as long as things stick together, we're definitely at a crossroads with the COVIDs. Tyranny is at our doorstep, so we cannot put up with blue-pilled libertarians that think like this cult of COVIDs is okay. So as long as things stick together economically, which things aren't looking good right now, especially with Bear Shells Biden at the helm, and inflation basically running rampant right now. But if we can weather this storm and the Mises Caucus can continually to grow, which we are, and it's evident at the event you were just at, that this message is resonating, and you're bringing a lot of new people to this message. You're bringing back a lot of old school individuals that are getting back involved in the party because they thought maybe for years, like, what am I doing? I'm wasting my time. But why not get involved at the local level and where we can actually influence some change. So if things hold together, I'm very positive that the liberty movement at the local level, we're going to be all right. Anybody tuning in, take human action, sign up for the Mises Caucus, get in touch with your local organizer, and come on out and network. If anything, that's what we need to do right now, is be in person, in real life, network, and build a greater liberty movement and network, because we're going to need it in the near times. So thanks again, Olivia, for coming out to the event. See you guys later. Take human action.
I have to say, I really, really enjoyed conversing and meeting with these people that I really would not have met otherwise. You know, it's definitely inspired me to get more involved into local politics, and definitely inspired me to consider getting more involved in the Libertarian Party. Like I said before, it kind of makes me want to switch my party affiliation, because I don't want to be the person that just isn't in it enough to commit to trying to send another delegate there into Reno for the national convention. So those are my thoughts on the Mises Caucus. They've been so welcoming to me, so nice to me. There are many ways to further libertarian ideals and to help the party. So I'm not saying you have to join the caucus, because like I said, I'm not in the party, so what am I telling you for? But I think it's one of the ways that we can further our ideals. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I'm a big proponent of not putting all your eggs in one basket. So I have no problem with small L libertarians voting Republican, or voting big L libertarian, or being in the Mises Caucus, or being in this caucus or that caucus, or whatever. I think there are a million different ways to get our message across. So whatever way you see fit, go for it. By the way, I hope you guys enjoyed last Thursday's show. That was my first time hosting the Sharp Way show live with no co-host, meaning that Larry was not there. I don't believe he's going to be here this Thursday either. So keep an eye out for me on Thursdays at 7 p.m. We're going live on the Sharp Way on this YouTube channel. Make sure like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for the support. And I will see you guys next time. Oh, and before I go, I would like to seriously thank the Mises Caucus of Maryland, Alex, and everyone that put on that Oktoberfest event. It was really, really fun. It was very inspirational to be around a bunch of like-minded individuals, and I have to say, I loved it, and I definitely will be back. So, and with that, I'm really going now. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.